Okay. Did it say recording in progress on your end? Okay, awesome. I'm going to start right now because I've got my 40-minute time limit. So we're just going to do this, the two of us. So I'm logged into my coach back office. So I'm going to have you do the same thing and I'm going to share my screen in a second. But before we start that, you know how you've got a routine for before you work out? You fill up your water bottle, you get on your workout clothes, you prep yourself to get ready, even if it's just silly things that are totally a habit now. You don't even think about it. You make your energize, you get your hydrate ready, like whatever it is for you, you have a routine. I have now started doing, and I know that Laura is really good at this too. I've now started doing that for before I start work. So I get myself in the right headspace. So I talked about this in my power hour last week. I start by thinking about her and what she needs. Because if I don't do that, if I'm thinking about me, then I get in my head when I start to do my work because I'm thinking about me and my stuff instead of her and her stuff. So before I press play on a power hour, before I dive into my coach back office, before I do something, I remind myself why I'm doing this. So I'll remind myself of stories of ladies that I've chatted with before that have reached out that are like, you don't think that you want me in your group. That's not something that you're going to enjoy. That's not something that you're going to be interested in. Hi, Melanie. Um, I think about her and the lady that is literally putting herself on the back burner. I'm talking to a mom right now that just messaged me the other day and was like, isn't it interesting that when we have kids, we put them first for absolutely everything, so much so that we forget about all of our own basic needs? Like, oh, that hurts my heart for you because not only is that not good for you and not healthy for you, but it's also not healthy for your kid. Like, that's not something that your kid needs to see growing up. So I remind myself of stories like that, my why for doing what I'm doing. So, on the hard days when you don't feel like pressing play with a workout, you have to think about your why and you have to think about the long term. Like Amoila says all the time, we're doing this not for just our bodies today, but for our bodies 20 years from now. Because the effort that we pour in today we're gonna be able to take dividends out years from now, right? So I do the same thing before pressing play essentially on my work. So I want you to take a minute this morning. I want you to remind yourself of your why. I want you to think about her. I want you to take a minute to process that before we press play on the power hour. So just think about that for me for a second. And I'm going to switch to sharing my screen with you so that then we can get going in the back office. I have to remember how to do this. Just showed myself how, and now I've lost it again. Okay, here we go. Can you see my screen, Stace? Okay, cool. So now that you've reminded yourself of your why, even if it was just for a few seconds, now that you've reminded yourself, I want you to go into your body, like log into body on your computer, go to partner tools, and the third thing down is daily activity tracker. Go there. So I'm going through this today because I love that Megan did this. Was that this week? Or was that last week? This week has been so full and crazy. But I love that Megan did this because this was a tangible thing that now we can do on our own later on. This felt like a really good tool to me as a reminder of like, hey, this is actually here for our access all of the time so that you don't feel like you're floating on your own, or sometimes like maintaining paper tracker is harder. So this is always here for you. It's always ready to go. So that's why we're going through this today. And I'm going to do like Megan, I'm going to cut our time down, which I think is a good reminder that even if we're doing a little bit, it's better than nothing. So again, reminder, start with your why, tell yourself a few stories about her, then log into your daily activity tracker. You find that under partner tools. So for me, again, I love a good checklist. So the workout is done. I've already done that this morning. I typically save my Shakeology for the evening time, but I've already drank my Recover and my Power Green. So I'm going to click that for right now because I like clicking things. Okay. And now I'm going to go to connect, invite, and follow up. So first one, initiate connections and expand your network. So this is just adding people to Facebook or adding people to Instagram. I think that Melanie and Megan have both talked about this, but a good place to find people Megan was talking about would be like in groups that you're a part of, especially if you're an active member there. So, like Stace, your hysterectomy group is a great place to be making connections and reaching out. And honestly, just reading people's posts and seeing what their struggles are. I know that you've already found some great people that way, and you've been a great encouragement in those places. So, think about the groups that you're a part of. Think about the groups that you would like to be a part of, that you would like to be in, and go and make connections there. Figure out if you can find some new followers, if you can find some new people that you could friend request. Don't feel like you have to just think about people in today's circle, but think back to yesterday's circle also. Okay. I'm going to set my timer. So it says on here to do it for 20 minutes. I'm going to only set my timer for this one for 5 minutes because I'm going to give us a little more time for inviting instead. Okay. So right now we're initiating connections. I'm setting my timer for 5 minutes. Okay. I'm going to mute myself too. Okay, that was 5 minutes. So wrap up where you're inviting, or I mean, where you're connecting now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and click that one because even though it wasn't 20 minutes, we did do some adding. Okay, now next step, invite at least 5 people to join a bod group or to learn about coaching. So the thing that I love about inviting to a bod group, like the thing that I think about, again, like of course I go back to thinking about her, but then the second thing that gets me excited and fired up is planning a new theme or um, idea for my bod group, because then again, I know what I'm inviting to. So for me, Stacey, we haven't talked about this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start inviting now to let people join for Week Gut Protocol again. That'll be September 4th. It's Labor Day. Um, and for people that join 4 weeks for everybody. I think that that'll be especially 4 weeks for everybody. And with school starting in September here, I think that that'll be a good time for people to feel like they can jump on board because they're getting back in a routine and a rhythm and they're wanting to feel healthy before we hit the holidays and now that summer is over, you know? So I feel like September is kind of a prime time for people to get back on board with things again. So for me, I think about her and then I think about what I'm inviting her to be a part of. So I have a date in mind. I have a plan in mind for what that date looks like. So when I'm inviting her, she knows that I'm not just inviting her to something totally random, but I have a plan in mind for her. So I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to do 8 minutes for inviting. I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes and let's take some time to invite some people and think about if you need to take a couple minutes first. It's another reason I'm doing 8 minutes. If you need to take a couple minutes first and think about what you're inviting her to, go ahead and go for that. Okay. Okay, that was 8 minutes. Great job. How many invites did you get out? Do you have time to do that? Can't show my chat like this. All right, so I'm just going to trust that you got them out. Great job. Okay, so now is the time for the time to follow up with people that you've invited. So Mia asked a great question last night. She was like, how long do I wait until, like, if I've sent out a sample workout or if I've connected with somebody, how long do I wait until I reach back out? Which that was a question asked Laura all the time. And for me, I usually give them at least 2 to 3 full days because that way they know, like, oh, maybe they didn't get to it the first day. Maybe then the second day they thought about working out. Maybe then the third day they actually had time to press play on something. So I typically give people 3 days before I reach back out again. I don't know if it's the same for you, Melanie, or not, but that's usually my thought on how long I give people, so they've got enough time to kind of process a little bit and actually have time to press play. So if you've sent any sample workouts, if you need any sample workouts, I have a sheet that I can post in the group that has links to a ton of them. But the other thing that I do honestly is I literally just type into Google lift more sample workout and it always pops up. I 99% of the time send the Vimeo one, not the YouTube one. I just think that it looks better. So I go with Vimeo instead of YouTube, but I'm sure you could do either one of them. So I just type in the sample workout that I'm looking for, and there for almost every program, there's a sample workout available. There have been a couple here and there that I haven't been able to find, but then I just find something similar and I send that. So now is the time to follow up with people that you've either sent carts to or that you've sent sample workouts to, or that, somebody that said, hey, yeah, I'm super interested and I would love to know more. Now's the time to do that. So they've got 15 minutes for us. I'm going to set my timer for 5 again. Okay. I'm going to mute myself again.
Hey, Kizzy, if I could just piggyback on what you said a second ago about the sample workout. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I like to send Vimeo links because when you send YouTube links, there's always like previews of videos on the side, and there's always naysayer ex-coaches that are like, why I quit Beachbody and all these things, and we don't need our prospects to see those things. So Vimeo links are the way to go.
Oh, thank you. One other thing I do want to say really fast too, before I mute myself again, is that if in any of these moments while you're going through your list here, if you're feeling stuck, that's why you made your big list before Team Cup started. So if you're in the middle of inviting and I haven't said timer's done yet, or if your timer hasn't said timer's done yet, and you're like, oh man, I've got 3 minutes left and I don't even know what to do, that's why you have your list. Pull your list back out, see who's on it. Even if you need to take a minute to go to her page and kind of reacquaint yourself with one of the girls from your list to remind yourself, like, what is she struggling with right now? Where is her headspace? Did her kids just go back to school? Is she ready to get back into a routine and rhythm? Have her posts been that she's defeated with her body, or her posts that she's super excited about getting a schedule under her belt again? Like, before you reach out to her, maybe do a little bit of research. But again, the reason that you have your list is for these kind of moments where you're like, oh, wait a minute. I feel like I don't even know where to go from here. Have that list out and ready while you're working through your daily activity tracker so that you don't get stuck. Oh, I unmuted myself before I turned off my timer. Okay, so follow up with who you've invited, checking that off. Okay, this is going to be our last thing for today because we're running out of time on my end. So this morning, Laura gave you a challenge to do a social media post or a story. She encouraged you to tag a bunch of people. So if you'll go back through right now and look in our group thread, she actually put all of the tags on there for you. So you can just copy and paste that. But Laura gave us some ideas of 2 things to add to our Instagram or Facebook story today. And just so you guys know, you can link Instagram and Facebook. So you're only posting to one place, but it is posting for you to both places. Um, I can put in the group thread how to do that if you don't know how, but that's something that I have found helpful because I don't do Facebook. Like it's not a place that I spend a lot of time or energy, but it's a place that I gain a lot of customers. For whatever reason, I have more success on Facebook than I do on Instagram. I don't know if people are on Facebook with a different mindset than they are when they're just scrolling Instagram. I'm not really sure, but it feels like people are more apt to read messages and actually engage over Messenger. So I post to Instagram, but it connects to both places so that I don't have to maintain 2 things, but I actually have that going for me that I am still posting in both places. So Laura gave us some ideas on the text thread this morning. She said, tag some of us as a bonus. And she's got our list there. So you literally just have to copy and paste that. But she said, do a clip or a picture of your workout, a video clip of the screen or the trainer's motivation from your workout, a shout out to a client or your group. Like, so Mia did a great post this morning about how she hates cardio day, but it helps that she knows that I'm pressing play at the same time as her. So basically, I'm as miserable as she is. So she'll text things like, hey, good luck. Today's a really sweaty one. But just having that camaraderie really helps. So she made a post about it today. She did a great job. Or, sorry, Laura, she did a story about it today. A clip of you making your energize, your Shakeology, your recover, a screenshot of your nutrition tracking, your meal container portioned out, motivational quote. So that one is totally hands off. Like you don't even have to think about that one. That's all on somebody else. You talking about your day and a mindset win that you had, or a graphic showing 3 wins from your day. Those are just some of your ideas. So I'm going to give us 5 minutes and then we're going to wrap up and be finished for today. So look, like we got all of this work done in under 40 minutes. Look at us. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to set my timer again and let's aim for one story on Facebook or Instagram, or hopefully both, because you've got them logged together. You've got them tracking together or whatever. Just some sort of quick story that you can get out and aim for tagging some of us. Okay. Okay, that's our time for today. I'm proud of you guys. You did a great job. Hopefully you got some stuff done and you feel good about some work that you put in today. Thanks for being here. Okay.